Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday. I hope you guys had a good weekend and that your week has started well. As always, if it is possible to have a good Monday, I hope you had one of those. Let me skip one of these adverts. It seems like immediately after the song that I play, the original song that I play at the beginning of every live stream, there's an advert that comes in straight away. Even though I specifically tell YouTube not to put adverts in regularly. I think it should be like once every half an hour. But I know that people get a lot more than that. And yeah, I don't know how to cancel those ones. I don't think I can. It's just the way YouTube is. But I'll try to limit them as much as possible and skip them when I see them. So you guys, hello in the live chat room. Let me give you guys a quick shout out. We have in there Laura Lee F, Rose S4, Bob's in there, Teresa, Carmen, Melody Rocks, Jade, and Howard's going through there again, Billy, Angela, Coralia, Ninja Kitty, PM1123, and Malteser's in there as well. Hello, and thank you for joining me on this Tuesday night. Let me get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place. They make every single video that I do on my channel possible. So thank you guys. You know who you are. I always say they are the foundation of everything that I do. Because if everything stopped on YouTube, that's where I would be and will be over on Patreon, still doing what I do. So thank you guys for all of your support. Now I'm going to get up on screen the likes goal for tonight, which is 345. I don't know what it was last week. I'm hoping that that's a little bit more than it was last week. It should be about 5 more, but we will see. That's what we're going to be aiming for. A nice sequence of 3, 4, 5. So if you could leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be very much appreciated. And that's for Phil Jam number 287. And I do have some news about the Phil Jams in general and something that started happening recently. And I don't know why. It's just really annoying. But I will get the likeometer up on screen as well. There it is. So 198 is where we are at the moment. Just jumped up to 205. Thank you for that quick spike of the likes. So what's been happening with the Phil Jams, and I don't think this used to happen, but all of a sudden now, and it's probably to do with things updating themselves and therefore now being less, I don't know, accurate than they were before. Work less effectively. So now during the live streams, when I do the jam, I play a backing track that Joe sends me, and I just click on the link that Joe sends, and that then loads up YouTube in a window, and the software that I use takes the audio from my computer system. So it means that the audio is going directly to your speakers and it's a direct feed to that audio. The problem that I've got is that when I'm playing my guitar, the signal from my interface takes between a quarter of a second and half a second to get to the same point, to your speakers effectively, because it's gone on a longer journey. The sound isn't coming from outside the computer, it's already inside the computer, so you hear it instantly. So it's something that I've noticed in the recent Phil Jams when I'm doing a particular run or just playing, and I'm constantly ever so slightly behind the beat, which of course makes it sound out of time. But I'm not playing out of time because I'm hearing it out of my speakers, and then what I'm playing is happening at the same time as what I'm hearing, but then you're hearing my guitar that little bit late. And it got to a point where in some backing tracks, it would be like I'm playing on the offbeat, but I wasn't. I was playing straight and all the runs that I was playing and all the way that I was phrasing things. And it is difficult because if now you're moving your guitar out of time, it means all of the things that you're coming up with, and it's so in sync with what you're listening to. So then for it to be out of sync, it's just because I listened to one back and I thought, well, hang on, yeah, that just sounds like I'm doing the changes at the wrong time and ever so slightly behind. But it's the feed, and I have checked it, that it is the input from my guitar going into my interface and yeah, then coming through or being recorded with what I'm looking at on YouTube is a little bit late. So I'm going to have to try and figure something out to try and get these two elements in sync. Because if the guitar's ever so slightly behind, then I'd have to try and lag the sound somehow from YouTube so that it doesn't play back the video on YouTube with the sound immediately. It has, yeah, some kind of... Well, the thing is, it's a latency issue with my guitar and the signal, so I'd have to try and, I don't know, develop a latency issue to exactly the same hundredth of a second as the video on YouTube. So yeah, not really sure how I'm going to get around that, other than playing the backing track through a speaker here. Obviously it's going to sound a little bit rubbish because you'll be hearing it through a speaker, and then my guitar will be going, but hang on, that'll still be, oh no, you'll be hearing the audio before it gets into the computer, so you'll be hearing everything that I'm playing along with, but the backing track might be in the background and you can't really hear it very clearly. So yeah, it's going to be a difficult one to figure out, because I mean, what I'm doing here for the live stream, I mean, it is kind of quite complicated anyway, and what I'm doing in this room is not very loud at all. I mean, here I'm just talking, which is fine, and the guitar is mic'd up, meaning it's got a condenser mic right against the cone of the amplifier, which means that I don't have to have it very loud, and sometimes it's so quiet that I can't really hear it because the backing track I'm a lot closer to that with my ears, and hearing my guitar behind me can be a little bit difficult. So it is really quiet, even though it might seem like I'm playing really loudly. And yeah, that's just to do with the setup. Also, here in the UK, it is quite late at night, so making lots of noises. This isn't a soundproof room, so yeah, making lots of noises and turning things up really loud. At the moment, nobody's complained, neighbours, etc. Nobody's complained about me doing this every Tuesday and Saturday, but I think if I started whopping up volumes, then they would do, because generally anything after maybe 10 is considered a bit late. 10:30, yeah, you're now pushing it, and the fact that it's now 11:15 and I do the jams at about midnight, so yeah, people have to get up for work, and yeah, this is it. If I start doing anything other than the volume that I'm doing, then yeah, I don't kind of want to draw attention to the fact that I am live streaming very late at night for neighbours being able to hear what I'm doing. I mean, it'd be great to be a multi-millionaire, live in a mansion, and have a wing that you can go off to and turn up things really loud, but I'm not in that situation, unfortunately. So it just is what it is. But I'm going to have to figure out the setup, because if I now have to have a speaker here, I'd have to turn that up quite loud for you guys to hear it evenly, yeah, over the mic. So yeah, I'll have to maybe try and route things differently, because I do like it when you get to hear the backing track clearly, because I mean, sometimes I can't hear it very clearly, but as long as you guys can hear it clearly, and I can sometimes get the mix, with you guys saying higher or lower, just kind of leave it where it is. Sometimes the mix is quite good, so it would be a shame to have to cut out on that. But the timing is such a fundamental thing that if what you're playing is not being heard with the phrasing that you're intending, then it really does go against what you're trying to produce, and people might listen to it and go, oh, he's played that out of time, he's slightly behind the beat, he's not, his timing isn't very good. It's no, but if you moved it perfectly forwards by a quarter of a second, then it would be in time. But obviously people can't do that because it's a live thing, and this is what happens live. So it might be the case that tonight's goal for Phil Jam number 287 what I could do writing in here is for maybe out of time, OOT. Let me put that in capital letters. Out of time, Phil Jam. So that's what those letters stand for, out of time, because it will be slightly delayed if we do hit the goal for tonight. like I said before, it's annoying because this didn't used to happen. It's just happened over maybe the last month or maybe 6 weeks where it's been noticeably delayed, my guitar to the backing track. But anyway, we will move on with tonight's live stream, and we'll get the donations tab up on screen because you don't have to donate. Just watching is great. So yeah, you don't have to donate for anything on the channel, analysis videos, or during these live streams, or just watching. Maybe hitting the thumbs up, leaving a comment would be great. And for those people that can't resist donating, I think it's important to know that between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link. But yeah, just watching is fantastic. So, oh, Melody Rock says maybe a software update will work. So that's exactly what I was doing before this live stream, trying to figure it out and update everything. But no, it's still delayed in there. So yeah, just a bit annoying, really. So, Sharky says if you download the backing track and play along, there will also be no danger of ad interruptions. So, thank you for that, but. Yeah, generally the backing tracks don't get interrupted by ads because they start with an ad, and it still means that because you're watching a live stream, that will still have an advert on. It's not kind of the backing track that's got the advert. It'll be my live stream, so it doesn't really matter how I'm doing things. But I'm going to have to experiment with there is a program that I can use that can download the backing track without me hearing it. So, because that's generally how I'm doing it, that I just click on the link and then we just see what happens. And that's why, because it isn't all kind of pre-planned, that's why now this issue is a bit annoying because, yeah, I could download it beforehand, which means listening to it beforehand and checking the levels and the timing of it and making sure that what I'm playing is in time. And I haven't tested that to see if it's coming out of somewhere other than Google Chrome, which is what I'm playing it back from, whether then it's going to play it in sync with my guitar. But then I still think that if I'm just using, QuickTime Player or something to play back, because I'm on a Mac, if I'm using something to play back the audio file, that is still in the computer. The latency is from my guitar because I'm playing the guitar, it's going into the interface, it's then going through the interface into the computer, and that's where that little bit of delay is happening. Whereas if I just play a file on my computer, it's there straight away. It's not kind of waiting for the guitar to arrive, and that's effectively what's happening. So yeah, we'll have to try and figure something out. So the Phil jams, until I can figure it out, are just going to be out of time. And you'll just have to deal with it. Right, let's move on with tonight's live stream. And there is probably going to be a bit of a troll corner tonight because there are one or two people that keep on coming back to the channel and they keep on commenting. And obviously they say, oh, Phil deletes his comments, but they're coming back and commenting and everyone else is commenting, and then they start having a go at other people who are just innocent bystanders who are commenting on a video, as a totally normal person would, maybe saying about the analysis video and saying, oh, I went to see them live at this time. And then a troll jumps on and starts having a go at this person who's just saying, I'm just saying that I went to watch them live, 2 years ago or whatever. So yeah, it is a bit of a shame. But we'll get into Troll Corner a little bit later on. I can see that there has been a donation in the Super Chat window, so thank you for that. And this is from Paul, and Paul's donated $5. And Paul says, howdy all y'all, let's have fun tonight and spike the likes. Peace, love, and rock. So thank you, Paul. And Karen's donated $10, and Karen says, greetings from beautiful Sacramento, California. Phil, did you see that some toys have AI messages now? I saw a stuffed bear that gives instructions on how to light matches and find knives. So thank you for that. Well, I haven't heard toys having AI put inside them, but I guess that's the problem. It is very much like trying to keep it under control in the music industry, which hasn't happened. now keeping it under control with toys and potentially turning toys into Terminators. Maybe that's something that's going to happen. But yeah, thank you for that, Karen. And Maltesers donated $19.99. Thank you for that. And the message is, we should always put something into the tip jar for someone who entertains us. That's the way I was brought up. So thank you for that. Right, let me jump over to the PayPal window because we have had some donations in there. And Chuck donated £2. So thank you for that, Chuck. And that was a straight up donation. And Cindy has donated £25. Thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, last time we heard your collaboration with Cena on You Give Love a Bad Name. How did doing a long distance collab affect your workflow, and was it easier or harder than you expected it would be? So thank you for that. And yeah, I mean, that was many years ago that I did that collaboration with Cena. And with that, I was still teaching guitar during the day. And I think I was releasing one video on Patreon every month. So I wasn't doing all of the analysis videos and the stuff that I get asked to look at on the channel. So it meant that I spent all of my time, doing the cover videos and building up those tracks from scratch. And with this particular collaboration, I think it's something that I had already done. So for my month's creation, as it was on Patreon, it was going to be You Give Love a Bad Name. And I messaged Cena because I think she was doing the same song at the same time. And I said, do you want to join up and do a collaboration on it? And because she was doing it at the time, she said, oh yeah, sure. So it was relatively straightforward because I had the whole track that I'd made and I just took out my drums, and Cena then played along to it without the drums, and we put her drums in there. So it was actually relatively straightforward. It wasn't like we were having to send loads of things either to and fro or to and from each other, because I already had the complete track. All I needed to do was just mute the drums, and that was it. So it was relatively straightforward for then her to release on her channel and me to release on my channel and my creation. So yeah, it didn't really affect my my workflow or anything like that, because that's what I was doing back then. I had the time to do it. It wasn't like I think at that point I don't know how many subscribers I had, maybe in the few thousands, or maybe the tens of thousands. It wasn't kind of over 500,000, but yeah, once you start getting, I guess, into the hundreds of thousands, that's where you're just doing something all the time. And if it's just you doing it, I know that channels have people that do the editing and the thumbnails, and they have producers that help and all that kind of stuff. But when it is just you doing it all yourself and answering all the emails and everything that comes with that amount of through flow, or going through your website and people checking out other social media sites, the amount of flow that you get through all of the other sites, it's a lot to keep up with, and a lot to keep up with all of the requests and messages that I get. So now I'm always doing something. So finding time to do anything else other than just what I do on a day-to-day basis is very difficult indeed. But anyway, thank you for that, Cindy. And Suzanne has donated £6, so thank you for that. And the message is, Phil, why couldn't you play one of your original songs? The reason why I asked was I just watched earlier another live stream. What this person does is he plays his own songs when he used to go on gigs. Nothing fancy or complicated, or maybe ask people for suggestions. Thanks, Phil. So thank you for that. And I think I've actually already answered this at the beginning of the live stream. So if I was getting out my guitar and singing like properly, and a lot of my songs, because they're kind of hard rock, it means that it's going to be up in around kind of G4 or F4, G4, A4, that kind of range, which is like belting. And belting is loud. When you are properly singing, it's a part of your register that it's it shouldn't sound like shouting, but it does have that kind of volume to it. So I know that if I was to bust out a guitar, and I'd have to turn up the guitar really loud to kind of hear it with the vocals, because this is what happens when you play live. You have in-ear monitors so that you can hear your voice clearly, and you have to have everything very loud. So it's not applicable for me to do it live in this current setup. The fact that I'm not I mean, some people might be live streaming in the afternoon, in which case it's a bit more acceptable to do that. But because of when I live stream, and the fact that I know that this is the most accessible time for people that watch the channel, because I started out live streaming at different times, and it just so happens that now this is kind of bedded in. This is the time that I live stream. So if people are wanting to watch a live stream, they will know that it will be this time on a Tuesday or a Saturday. And the positive thing about that is that more people can watch it, and everyone knows when it's going to happen. But the negative side of that is that I can't make loads of noise because it is quite late at night here in the UK. But it just is what it is, and I can do the fill jams, which are quiet, and the backing track is actually being played in the computer and quietly out of the speakers, and my guitar's quiet as well. But as soon as I get into singing properly, it's quite loud. But the other thing is, I'm not really an acoustic artist. That it really just depends what you do, because even having like a backing track of my song and singing along, and maybe playing guitar, or because then playing guitar, you think, well, but it's just the guitars are already on the track, so you probably can't even hear what I'm playing. So you think, well, that's a bit pointless. I know that some people do that, and that's up to them. But because of my style of music, I don't know, just playing along with a backing track isn't something that, appeals to me. And I'm not really an acoustic artist. And I know that there are some people that, play the acoustic, and they might even be singing at a level that is more of a folk type thing. So it is at talking level. It's not kind of belting. So I think it's the style of music. As soon as you start getting into kind of hard rock, you need to be able to make quite a lot of noise and do that at quite a volume for it to be authentic. Because if I was playing an acoustic guitar, I'd have to kind of hold back on the vocal. And generally what I've done, I mean, for the ballads, you can kind of get away with that, but even still, the ballads that I've done, I was still doing that in an environment that wasn't like a live stream late at night. It was something that I just did like in an afternoon, and then put that together as a video to then play on my channel and play in the live streams as well. So I'm just not in a situation where I can do that, unfortunately. So thank you for that, Suzanne. And Lisa W has donated £10. Thank you for that, Lisa. And the message is, hi Phil, what do you hope people take away from listening to your original music? Same question regarding your covers. Thanks. I think probably the same message that I give to people all the time, about just being yourself and just doing what you do and just enjoy what you do. I do get plenty of comments on my channel, or at least I have had plenty of comments on my channel over the years where people say, oh, what you're doing has already been done. You need to do something different. You need to do this. You need to do that. And they've got all these ideas of things that apparently I need to do. But for me, I think if you just do what you enjoy, then people will enjoy it as well, more often than not, because they see that you're enjoying the music that you're making. So I think if you're always trying to chase something, a particular sound that you're thinking, and this is where it's never going to work, you're chasing a sound that you think people want to hear, but you don't know what that sound is, and trying to do something, saying, oh, you know what you need to do, something totally unique and new, and something that's never been done before, and something that's going to sell millions and millions and millions of albums worldwide. It's like, oh, really? That's how simple it is. That's what you need to do. It's never like that. Nobody has ever tried to do something new that has gone like that. It's just the thing that's been new is them just them making their own music and their style of music and what they enjoy doing. So if you just keep making the music that you enjoy making, even if people say, oh, it's old-fashioned, it's already been done, if you enjoy it, that's the most important thing. So it doesn't matter if you're playing a particular style or have a sound that has happened previously. You just keep on doing it, because it's all about enjoyment at the end of the day. And ultimately, if you can make music your career, then you've achieved what you set out to do. And that's all I ever set out to do. And once you achieve that, you think, well, yeah, it doesn't really matter. I could have gone off trying to make music I thought people wanted to hear, and that person's message I would have never got, because they wouldn't even know me. They wouldn't know anything about me, let alone be on my channel to tell me what I needed to do. So yeah, just the fact that if you get those messages, you know that what you're doing is correct, because you're not on their channel messaging them, that they've come to you. So yeah, you've got that much exposure that people know about you, and therefore will possibly check out your music. And I'm not really into kind of self-promotion and telling people to go and buy my album or my music and in my analysis videos, because those analysis videos are about the subject material that I've been asked to look at. It's not about me promoting my original material or or any course that I do or anything like that. So yeah, again, I'm not kind of really into that, but thankfully I don't need to kind of push any of that. I think the amount of through traffic that I get, some people do listen to my songs and do download songs and albums, and then I send out albums as well. So yeah, I'm quite happy doing that and just keeping on doing what I'm doing. But same for everybody else, just keep on doing what you enjoy doing, and just enjoy making cover videos if that's what you want to do, because I think it's great as well. I mean, I was making the tracks from the ground up, so it meant that I liked, and I mean, I like analysing songs. I like to analyse what everyone's doing in the band. But yeah, it's just up to you. I think it's a very good learning process in order to kind of be able to hear exactly what's going on and decipher how a track is put together, rather than just kind of playing along to a backing track. So again, that's to my point earlier that I'm not really a backing track kind of person of singing over the top of something that has already been done, because then all you're doing is adding your voice. Whereas I like to kind of put my own spin on it, everything that was going on in a particular cover or a particular song. So anyway, thank you for that, Lisa, and we are up to date there. Right, now we are going to jump into the super chat window again, because Malteser donated $4.99. Thank you for that. And the message is another good hair day for you, Phil. So thank you for that. And I don't really know if it's a good hair day or not. I think it's kind of maybe halfway between. So it could be a lot worse. Thank you, Jennifer, as well, who's donated $7. And the message is, Phil, would you do another song with Cena? Was there one event that made you write Running Blind? Thanks. So in the future, I mean, I never say never really to anything. It's always about organising schedules in order to work with other artists. And that does bring me to the vocal coach video that I'm going to be doing. I'm aiming for before Christmas, because I think now I have got, and I'm realising today, I just started kind of piecing together the performances that I've got. There are 7 performances. So I don't know how long the video is going to be. It might be 7 minutes, 8 minutes, because I'm just trying to take sections of each vocal coach's performance. And this is for Authentic Vocal, having prominent vocal coaches that have sent me their fully live and unedited vocals, just to have it out there. Because as teachers and students of the voice that are out there who might be listening to vocals that are tuned, as an industry standard, they're not really hearing the real human voice. So it was just a case of me throwing an idea out there, and I guess this is a collaboration with all of the vocal coaches that were involved, just throwing the idea out there saying, look guys, do you want to do something? Just record a vocal so I can put it on my channel so that people can hear what a real voice is, because that's what vocal coaches do. They teach people how to sing, and with pitch correction being an industry standard, sometimes it's very difficult to hear natural voices. So I do have those 7 vocal coaches performances. I'll be piecing that together hopefully before Christmas. Like I said, that's what I'm aiming for. But this is always the case. It's scheduling and it's getting things from people. And this is why I think now, unless I get another performance before I finished editing and I can quickly piece it in, I think now I'm going to draw the line at 7, because 7 have got back to me and given me all the files that I need, and then I can start making the video. So sometimes when you are waiting, it's like I said, sorting the diaries out. I've got to kind of just say, right, draw a line in the sand and say, I'm going to do this video, and then in the future I might do another one. So the other vocal coaches that might have missed out on this one, we can maybe do another fully live and unedited vocal performance from other vocal coaches afterwards. And who knows, even with Tim Welch that I've spoken to, and he's going to be in this video, he was saying about a student that he's got, who's great. And I said, well, if it's featuring natural voices, maybe we can start featuring, students of coaches who, could do with a little bit of a spotlight on their voice and their natural singing and the fact that their voice isn't tuned. So that, again, that's all going to be over on Authentic Vocal. And you can head over there if you want to, and that's at official Authentic Vocal on YouTube if you want to check that out, or at authentic.vocal over on Instagram. So you can keep up to speed with everything. And I will be rolling things out a little bit more in 2026, but this is just a little project at the end of the year that I can place on Authentic Vocal, and we can enjoy. Before Christmas, enjoy some natural voices, because it is so difficult nowadays to find performances that aren't tuned. And I'm constantly answering emails where people say, oh Phil, here, I've got a video for you, finally somebody that isn't being tuned. And then I listen to it and it's somebody who is tuned. And it's just a real shame, because I have to keep on answering emails saying, unfortunately, it is calibrated, it has been tuned. Because now everything's being tuned, even what people send me that look like impromptu performances. And I'm going to be doing another video on that soon, where it's a kind of video that, again, on YouTube, there's a trend of, and we had this trend of people singing in places like, a kitchen and a bathroom and like a parking lot, or it was a parking complex, but it's all pre-recorded and pitch corrected and then reverb added on to make it sound like it's in that place. So it's so contrived, or these performances. But now there's another kind of performance that is doing the same thing, which I will point out on my channel, because I've had a lot of requests to look at that kind of thing. It's not in a parking lot or in a kitchen or in a bathroom. It's in a different location. So, right, thank you for that. We will move on. Malteser has donated $9.99. Thank you for that. And the message is, it's time for an update on your arm injury. So thank you for that. Now, arm injury wise, newer viewers won't know that I injured my ligament and tendon in 2021, and we're almost into 2026. So when it wasn't even the physiotherapist, it was the specialist, when I had a scan, which is probably a couple of years ago now, I had a scan where, they can, I can't remember what it is it a CT scan, where they can see everything and they can examine your tendons and ligaments and muscles and bones and all that kind of stuff. So I had that, and then the specialist said, yes, that there is damage to ligament and tendon, but it's just going to take a long time. So by a long time, he really did mean a long time. But for the update on that, so we're almost 5 or maybe 4 years, going into the 5th year of trying to get it sorted out. But the good thing is that over the last, what I'd say is maybe 2 or 3 months, I started out with really light weights of doing exercises that are close to what I used to do when I was working out without any injuries, just ever so slightly modifying the exercises. So, for example, instead of doing a totally open bicep curl like that, which kind of sends quite a lot of force through the tendon especially, but kind of what was damaged and still is a little bit damaged, instead of doing that, I turn my wrist all the way over and effectively do like a hammer curl, or it's almost an exaggerated example of a hammer curl, so that when I come up, I'm using all of this up here instead of opening and using all of this kind of down here. So it's just modifying exercises. Same really with dumbbell flies. You might not know what I'm talking about, but here when you're holding the weights and just kind of turning in a little bit and pushing up and away, so that I'm kind of not opening up my wrist to do much work with the inside. So the good news about that is I've been doing really light weights, and I've managed to get up to maybe 25 reps per set, and I've just increased the weight, and that was maybe 2 days ago was the first session that I've done with the weight just being a little bit more, and therefore doing maybe 15 or 16 reps. And at the moment it feels okay, and it has felt okay today, but with ligaments and tendons you always have to wait a little bit to see if they flare up like a few days later. But hopefully, fingers crossed, if I can start increasing weight and do the exercises that I used to do, it means that it's all going to be strengthening up, and hopefully I've thought that maybe next summer 2026, I'm hoping that my arm will be relatively back to normal, which will be weird because it hasn't felt normal in so many years that just to have it like this arm would be great. But we will see. That's the update. So I'd say it's relatively positive so far. It's just having patience with it and doing the exercises and gradually getting stronger at them. So Sue's donated $9.99. Thank you for that. And the message is spike it because we like it. So thank you for that. Oh, and I think somebody said about the running blind song. I don't think it was really one event. It's just a combination of lots of different events that happen very closely to each other that you see on the news, and it's just all depressing. And I thought, I'm going to have to make a song about all of this. So, I did. So, Melody Rock says, how did you keep in shape all these years? Simple answer to that, I haven't kept in shape all these years. I'd say that generally, my diet is probably quite clean. I don't tend to eat, fast food all the time. I'd say maybe once a month when I'm in the usual. I don't know. It depends, because if there are birthdays and Christmas and all this different stuff, you tend to eat more, even though that's not fast food. But depending on the time of year, generally I have fast food, maybe once a month, something like that. If that, sometimes I'll have a few months without having fast food because I'm just busy doing stuff all the time. So my diet just seems to kind of repeat itself. And sometimes I'll be having, like scrambled egg on toast for dinner, or just, some soup and things that are quick because I'm busy doing things. And if I can spend less time making food and eating food, the better, because I got more time to finish other jobs that need doing. So I have one chocolate bar a day, and that's pretty much it. I'd say I'm probably eating between 1,500 and 2,000 calories a day, and I know that my body probably uses between those two figures. So this is why I'm never really going to be putting on a lot of weight, because I'm not eating far and above my BMR, the calories that I need for every day. If I was starting to kind of work out a lot and maybe go running and all this kind of stuff, then I would start losing weight. But if you just eat the same amount of calories that your body needs every day, then you'll just maintain your weight. And so I think that's just something that I've done. So there we go. Right. Thank you for this, Karen, $5 donation. And the message is, hey Phil, if you had the time to go to Italy for any of the upcoming Olympics, which event would you want to watch? Okay, I will go for... I don't know, maybe the 100 meter sprint, or maybe just see the track events, because I guess the 100 meters, 200 meters and all the finals, maybe you'll have to buy a ticket just to be there for that day when you're in the stadium. So yeah, that'd be quite good to watch that. But yeah, I don't know. I like watching it on TV, but I don't think I'm necessarily that bothered about going to watch it in person. Diamond Girl 1234 said, is it a snick or an Ickers? This is a point that I made about chocolate bars getting very small, and this is the point that now, I think when I was younger, having one chocolate bar a day was probably about 300 calories or 320, whereas now one chocolate bar a day is more like 200 calories or 180. So everything, chocolate wise has just been getting smaller and smaller, so it means I'm taking in less calories. So that's probably why I've just maintained my weight and not put on any weight, is because everything's getting smaller, so you're paying the same money for less of the product. Certainly makes business sense, but it isn't very good for the consumers. Right, thank you for that, Karen, about the Olympics. Jennifer donated $5. Oh, here we go, and says, Phil, you never answered the other question about running blind. So yeah, I just did answer that. Maybe I saw the donation going through and caught it before it disappeared, but thank you for that, Jennifer. Now we are at almost 10 to midnight. We are looking for 345 likes in order to have an OOT Phil Jam, which is an out of time Phil Jam, and that'll be Phil Jam number 287, because it will be delayed because of my interface and the signal getting to you guys after the backing track. So yeah, that'll be fun. We probably will jump into Troll Corner. By the way, tonight's cover video vote is close because it's between Johnny Be Good, which is in the lead with 51% of the vote, and it's Behind Blue Eyes, which is the other one for tonight, the other cover video. So whichever one of those you want to hear my version of, make sure that you click on that at the top of the live chat room. Right, let's jump into Troll Corner, and I'll see if I can actually find the comment. There are a couple of things. I think I'll just concentrate on one comment for tonight. So I have to see if I can find it while in record time, while Mr. Troll comes on screen. So I'll see you guys in a second. Rock!
Oh, hello.
I couldn't click the button and do the rock in time, so you just have to deal with that. Right, now... this isn't the one that I was thinking of. I might have taken a screenshot of this. I'm not sure. It's funny because... Oh, here we go. I see comments like... just the one that popped up there saying something like, don't argue with a moron. Because it's something like they've had more practice than you at being a moron, so you're never going to win. And all those kinds of comments. There's another one, maybe more of an expression that is about somebody who isn't particularly switched on with what we're talking about, and you're never going to be able to win an argument, because they just don't have the knowledge to do it. But anyway, now, this was, quite a long comment. This particular person was saying, and this tends to happen under the Taylor Swift videos, because Taylor Swift has a lot of fans worldwide. And I did a video, it must have been last year, that pointed out exactly kind of when she's miming and when she's using auto-tune and all this kind of stuff. And it's exactly the same as all of my videos. It's objective, it's factual, it can be cross-referenced, and it's just a fact. So this person said, this analysis is methodologically wrong. Um, you're comparing the echo tail, not the dry. I think maybe methodically wrong, or methodologically. It's so difficult to read that all in one expression. But anyway, methodologically wrong. You're comparing the echo tail, not the dry vocal. Of course, the FX settings are consistent from show to show. They are presets. Similar echo tails do not demonstrate miming. They only prove that the vocal bus processing is the same, which is exactly what we would expect. And then they go into vocal transients, attacks, consonants, breaths, gating, spectral filtering, phase coherence of dry signals. So they get into all of the stuff that I did reply to them, all of the stuff that isn't required. You don't need to get into looking at things in that detail when you have the pitch data that overlaps itself, because that is impossible to do. You can do as and there's a huge reason why these things I don't have to bother with, and I don't bother with, is because I want everything in my videos to be cross-referenced by somebody who doesn't know and doesn't have all of the equipment you would need in order to start analyzing isolated vocals and the vocal transients and all these different parts of looking at the actual waveform of files. If you're having to analyze something and you're having to use specialized equipment that Joe Public doesn't have, then they can't cross-reference what you're doing. How do they know that you're not just making that up? Because they say, well, I haven't got that software and I haven't got the money to buy that software. So how do I know what this person's saying is true? Whereas if I say in my videos, here's a link in the description to the video that I'm looking at, you can isolate the vocal with Moises.ai, you can run it through pitch monitoring software, and I even give vocalaise.com for that. You can actually show on screen what I'm looking at. So everything I'm pointing out, Joe Public can cross-reference. They don't need anything complicated, and they don't need to know what transients are. They just look at a line on screen and go, oh yeah, that does match. And we know that it's impossible for those to match if it's different vocals. It has to be exactly the same audio file for that to match. So that's not required. And this is why I think people who obviously have a lot of knowledge don't understand pitch data and how conclusive it is when you're looking at somebody's voice, because this isn't a machine. You can't tune this. So when it's the same file being played back, human vocal cords can't produce the same file. So when you're looking at pitch, it goes over the top of itself, which is impossible to do with human vocal cords. There'll always be a variation. But they've obviously, I don't know, maybe they're a fan of Taylor Swift and I don't know, they may be a bit angry and maybe they do know what I'm pointing out is a fact, but they can't kind of deal with it. And just to totally blow their argument out of the water about saying that you're comparing the echo tail, not the dry vocal. Of course, the FX settings are consistent from show to show. They are presets. Similar echo tails do not demonstrate miming. I'm not talking about similar, first of all. I'm talking about exactly the same. When it's the exact same audio file, it's going to play back exactly the same way. So when he says about the echo of the voice, comparing that to another one, saying, oh, of course it's going to be the same because that's a preset. They use that at every show. So it means that if I went, and that repeats, there's an echo. If I now go, does the echo go, does it now go back to what it was on the other pitch that I sang? Of course it doesn't. It goes, It's repeating the original signal. It's not changing it to another signal that didn't exist. So absolutely, if you're analysing the pitch of a vocal and there's delay on the voice, that pitch is just going to repeat all the time. And that's going to be different night after night after night because the echo or the delay is not modulating pitch. It's just repeating the original signal. So the argument there, again, this person sounds like they know what they're talking about, but they unfortunately are missing fundamental points that contradict what they're saying. First of all, you don't need to get into the tests that they're talking about. Is already conclusive enough. And I did say to them that, a few months after my Taylor Swift analysis, and then I was made aware that her lawyers had seen my video, at that point, it would have been removed if it were libel, if it's fake, if I'm making up stuff, that they would have issued a takedown notice. But they know that they can't do that because what I'm pointing out is true and it could be cross-referenced by anybody. So imagine having a court case where I could get somebody up from the jury to come up and do exactly the same as what I've done and show it's exactly the same results. Because it is that simple and it's that conclusive, that's why the video still exists. So yeah, it's just a shame that they're trying to say that the delay, that is so, unfortunately, it's so off base with saying that, the delay's always going to be at the same pitch on every night, even with live vocals. So it's like, imagine that she was really sharp or really, really flat and hit the wrong note. Then the delay's going to be on the wrong note as well. So hopefully you understand what I'm saying. That delay repeats the original signal. Wherever you sing, sharp or flat, that will get repeated. The effects that are set up, presets or not, they're not going to change the pitch of a vocal. So yeah. And then, they go on to say, just what anyone would expect from a clearly clickbait title. Of course, and then here's the contradiction. Of course, there are some pre-recorded supporting vocals in the show, besides the main vocals, which are 100% live and have been demonstrated countless times. That's simply professionals doing their job to give the audience the best show possible. You are wrong, and probably you know it. So then they say, of course they're pre-recorded vocals, but you're saying that what I'm saying in my video is wrong when I'm saying they're pre-recorded vocals. And everything that people say about this show, and it's a little bit frustrating that they're not watching my video, and especially my follow-up video where I watched 45 minutes of 2 separate sets from the tour and I compared them to each other so that every question people have about that particular tour and each performance is answered. So the person that says, oh no, she does sing live, in my videos, you'll be able to see which songs she's singing live with auto-tune. That there wasn't a song that wasn't auto-tuned. And then when she's miming, when she's not actually singing. So if she was actually singing with a recorded, lead vocal on the backing track, that would still throw off the pitch monitor. She has to be silent when she's moving around and dancing for the line to go over the top of the other line. The reason the lead vocal's on the backing track is because she's having a rest. She's not singing. So it would defeat the whole point of having a lead vocal on your backing track if you're going to sing along throughout your whole show. But there are some singers that do that sometimes sing very quietly when they don't want to hit a particular high note because that's on the backing track, and then they might come in and sing over the top of the backing vocal, and they might be auto-tuned. But anyway, every single variation of what people are saying is true. When they say, oh yeah, but on this show, she had a fly in her mouth and stopped singing. Yes, some of the songs she's singing live with auto-tune. So it means that if she stops singing, that's going to be stopped. But there are particular songs that are sung with auto-tune and other songs that are lip-synced or mimed because they're all on the backing track. And yeah, I also pointed out about the band and the backing tracks being backing tracks. And, people message me and give me little quotes from maybe people in the band who, I can't remember who it was. It might have been the bassist or one of the bassists who did, I don't know how many of the shows. But again, this is all just something I've been told about them saying that, yeah, it's all backing tracks apart from the little bits that they do live. And then it's just playing along with the backing track, which, that's what I do point out in my videos when I compare one show to another show and the songs are perfectly in sync. Then, yeah, that's all on the backing track as well. But, so, there we have it. That's Troll Corner for tonight. But it is, like I said, it's frustrating when people who might know things technically about music and analysis then make a statement that is so, you think, well, how can you think delay is going to repeat at the same pitch regardless of where the vocal is? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But I guess they do say a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Let's now get out of Troll Corner and we'll jump into the cover video, which we will be looking at, and we will be having an out of time fill jam, so we'll be busting out the guitar as well. I'll see you guys in a second.
Bye-bye.
So just ending the poll, and it was Johnny Be Good, which is going to be played now. And this is from it's the Back to the Future version, so I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you after. Rock! Okay, Back to the Future version of Johnny Be Good. Let's do this. Rock!
Back up in the woods among the evergreens, stood a log cabin made of earth and wood. Lived a country boy named Johnny Be Good. He never ever learned to read or write so well, but he could play the guitar just like ringing a bell. Go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, go, Johnny Be Good.
And there we have it. That was my version of Johnny Be Good from the Back to the Future movie. And just quickly jumping into the Super Chat window. It was, Media Watch 01 donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, thank you for the auto-tune education over the past videos. I've learned so much. Appreciate. Paul donated $2, said most excellent spiking of the likes, so thank you for that. Elaine donated $5 and says TikTok, we're after midnight. Thank you for that. And Diamond Girl 1234 donated $2 and said, what is the shirt tonight? Inquiring minds. And as luck would have it, this is kind of the thunder from Back to the Future. So that was requested over on Patreon, and I just happened to have that t-shirt on. So it was Destiny or Density, if you've seen Back to the Future. Right now, we are going to be having this fill jam, which is going to be out of time. So let me click on this and...
Hi.
let's mute this advert. Guitar, I need to turn this on. I think we're already zoomed out. Yeah, Red Dude says zoomed out. So let me skip this. And right. Let me grab this. It's always in the wrong place. Right, this is melodious hard rock, heavy metal backing track in E. BT-270. BT-270. And this is from N&M Creation. Right, we will jump into this. yeah, it's going to be out of time because my guitar takes a little bit longer to get to the computer. So brace yourselves. But maybe what I could try and do in the future, if it is always going to be out of time, maybe I was just thinking when I was playing that cover video, if I then play along, but then again, I can hear. Okay, right. When I'm speaking into this microphone, which is going through the interface here, the Scarlett interface I've got, I can hear the delay, and it's like delay. It's like that, delay. So it means when I play, that's kind of the delay. I've got delay on my guitar, so probably doesn't help as well. But yeah, I've only just kind of really noticed that, oh yeah, there's that little bit of delay, and that's why my guitar's out of time. So, out of time, Phil Jam, let's have a listen. First of all, see if I can get this. Can you hear this? Oh! By the time I realised it was going to end, I thought it was going to end. It didn't end, it extended. And then I thought, oh, now I put in a bit. And it did end. So anyway, yeah, a bit of a mess at the ending. But that was tonight's Out of Time backing track. So yeah, everything that I'm playing is about a quarter of a second, half a second late. So whatever it sounded like, I apologise. But that was melodious hard rock heavy metal backing track in E, BT-270 from N&M Creation. Right, I'm going to have to see, yeah, I'm going to have to try and figure out how I can start to play along to tracks and have you guys actually hear what I'm playing at the same time as the backing track. So, Melody Rock says, Phil, couldn't you slow down the speed on the YouTube backing track? No. It just means that the backing track is always playing ahead of me. I'm always behind. So it just means that that's going in slow motion and I'm still behind. It doesn't matter how fast or slow this is going. Unfortunately, my guitar's never going to match whatever the backing track is, regardless of the tempo. Or what I need is like a custom latency that I can employ, but that's going to be impossible to do on... Well, I say it's going to be impossible to do. I can't think of a way to impose latency on YouTube. So, yeah, I'll have to try and figure something out in the future. But for tonight's live stream, that is it. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up and getting us past the 345 target for tonight and having the Out of Time Fill Jam number 287. I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night, so look out for that one. And live streaming, of course, on Saturday night as well, 11 PM Greenwich Mean Time. If you can make it then, that would be much appreciated, because either we'll have a Fill Jam that's going to be in time if we can get enough people to hit the thumbs up, or we'll have another Out of Time Fill Jam. We will see, but thank you guys for tuning in tonight. And I will see you guys at tomorrow night's video. As I always say, try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you tomorrow night. See you then. Rock!